Have you ever just stopped and wondered how a mountaineer can stand on the summit of Everest, breathing air that thin? Or how an ultrarunner can cross a desert in that kind of blistering heat? Well, it turns out the human body is this incredible adaptation engine, and it's capable of adjusting to some of the most hostile environments on the entire planet. So today, we're going to dive into the science of how our bodies pull off these absolutely amazing feats.
Right, so how do we do it? What's the secret biological sauce that lets us push way past our normal limits and survive in places where, honestly, we probably shouldn't? It all comes down to one single remarkable process. And that process is called acclimatization. Think of it like your body's short-term rapid response toolkit for dealing with a big environmental change, whether that's altitude, temperature, you name it. And this isn't some change that takes generations to happen. No, this happens within your own lifetime, sometimes in just a matter of hours or weeks. Now, it's really crucial to separate this from adaptation. See, acclimatization is temporary. It's reversible. It's kind of like you shedding a heavy winter coat when summer rolls around. Adaptation, on the other hand, that's a permanent, evolutionary change that gets written into a species' DNA over countless generations. So what we're talking about today is the magic your own body can perform right here, right now.
So what happens when you're suddenly dropped into an extreme environment, say high up a mountain? Well, before your body can even think about adjusting, it panics. I mean, we're talking a full-blown, red alert, physiological shock to the system.
The second you get to a high altitude, the air gets thin. That lower oxygen pressure immediately triggers a powerful stress response. Your body has no idea you're just on a cool hiking trip. It thinks it's under attack, so it slams the fight or flight button to survive.
The first thing you'll notice is your heart just pounding in your chest, right? That's not just a feeling, it's a desperate biological strategy. To make up for the less oxygen-rich air, your heart rate just skyrockets, trying to pump whatever little oxygen it is getting to your vital organs as fast as it possibly can.
And then your breathing changes. This is something called the hypoxic ventilatory response. You start taking these faster, shallower breaths, just desperately trying to pull more oxygen from that thin air. It's your lungs' first and most frantic attempt to deal with the oxygen problem.
Now, behind the scenes, your sympathetic nervous system, that's the command center for the whole fight or flight thing, it goes into total overdrive. It floods your body with stress hormones, pushing your heart rate and blood pressure even higher. Your entire system is on high alert. And check this out. This data shows that internal battle perfectly. Researchers in India tracked soldiers who were flown to 3,500 meters. On day 2, you can see the ratio between their fight or flight and their rest and digest systems is a massive 3.54. The body is in full-blown panic mode. But then look at day 5. It's already dropped down to 2.07. The panic is starting to fade as the body gets down to the real work of acclimatizing.
Okay, so once that initial panic is over, the real magic starts. Your body cracks open its acclimatization playbook and starts deploying this whole suite of biochemical and physical tools to find a new sense of balance.
At a microscopic level, your body becomes a master chemist. Seriously. If it gets cold, your cell membranes can actually become more fluid so they don't stiffen up. Under heat stress, your cells produce something called heat shock proteins, which act like tiny bodyguards for other vital proteins, stopping them from breaking down. And at altitude, your body starts churning out more red blood cells to maximize every last bit of oxygen it can carry.
The changes aren't just microscopic either. Your body makes these huge physical adjustments too. Birds, for example, can literally increase the size of their organs to boost their metabolism in the cold. And when you acclimate to heat, your blood plasma volume actually expands. This helps lower your heart rate and basically makes you a more efficient cooling machine. You even get better at sweating, losing less salt so you can hang on to those precious electrolytes. You know, this deep understanding of acclimatization is exactly why mountaineers live by that golden rule: climb high, sleep low. By pushing themselves to a higher altitude during the day and then coming back down to a lower one to rest, they give their bodies the perfect cycle of stress and recovery. It's how they adjust safely and effectively.
But what's really amazing is that we don't have to wait for some extreme environment to trigger these changes. We can actually hack our own biology. We can intentionally train our bodies to acclimate for better performance and even better health.
So let's look at a real-world example of this. This is a heat protocol from the legendary ultra-running coach Jason Koop. The method is simple, but it's incredibly effective. You do your normal workout first, and then you immediately jump into a sauna or a hot bath. Consistency is everything here. And notice that last point, because it's crucial. You are training your body to respond to heat, not to operate while dehydrated. You have to stay hydrated.
But it's so important to keep a dose of reality here. As the source material puts it perfectly, acclimatization gives you an edge, but it doesn't make you superhuman. It raises your threshold for discomfort, sure, and it makes you more efficient, but it's not going to make a 110-degree race feel cool and breezy. You're still going to be hot. So, we've seen how the body panics, how it adjusts, and even how we can train that adjustment. And we've been talking about all this as a temporary, reversible process. But what if it wasn't entirely?
And this is the question that's really changing how we think about the body's response to stress. We used to think that when you came down from the mountain, everything just snapped back to normal. But new research is starting to suggest that some of these changes might actually leave a permanent mark.
And here it is, the big reveal. Recent studies have found that severe oxygen deprivation, hypoxia, can leave a lasting imprint on the genes of your immune cells. This could actually help explain why people who recover from severe lung illnesses are often way more vulnerable to infections long after they've recovered.
The really crucial part is how this happens. The process is called histone clipping. So think of your DNA as thread that's wrapped around these little protein spools called histones. Well, hypoxia can actually clip those spools, changing how the DNA gets read. And this isn't just happening in your existing cells, it's leaving a mark on the very bone marrow cells that are going to produce the next generation of your immune system. Your body is essentially remembering the stress at a genetic level.
So that leaves us with this final, really fascinating thought. From a chaotic fight-or-flight response to sophisticated biochemical adjustments and even lasting genetic imprints, our bodies are constantly rewriting their own operating manuals just to survive. So if our environment can have this profound of an impact on our biology in just a matter of weeks, it really makes you wonder, what other untapped potential is just lying dormant inside all of us, waiting for the right challenge?